Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Bozmos2, where we are playing Chaco. This is turn 69. So, jump into things. Alright, I try not to do this very frequently, but I ran into, this is kind of the code, if people are watching, both series, both Tetragrammaton and Bozmos2, this is the same time period where I'm kind of having that issue in Tetragrammaton where I've unfortunately, due to vacation and some health issues with my family and things like that, I've had to back off on being able to record turns live. So this is a catch-up turn. But fortunately, I'm still relatively fresh on what's been going on in this turn. I've been trying to do a good job of reviewing things so that I know what's happening as I kind of mix back in. So hopefully I'm not going to miss anything, but let's just jump into things and see how it goes. So, you're spending too much time. The commander of Ulm has claimed the Throne of Zeal. Good to know. And then King the Draco line has claimed the Throne of Flames. Okay, cool. We'll take a look at those. Actually, let's just take a look at them right now. So, Throne of Zeal and Throne of Flames. I think we've seen both of these already. Throne of Zeal is over here. Less troops get morale +1. That's, considering the amount of issues that I have had versus morale, basically, you know, like fear bombing strats, or they're not fear bombing strats, but morale breaking strats. Like, this is a really cool throne. I like this one. Then we have the Throne of Flame. +5 fire resistance to... Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. Honestly, for it being a tier 1 throne, like, that's pretty good, pretty useful. All right, sweet. Continuing onwards, we have cast Breath of the Desert on Old Man. The intent there, trying to protect ourselves from murdering winter. Right, we have an ogre dance coming out in our capital, Chaco, where we are trying to put together a small squad of Katsina ogres. These guys are pretty intense. They're pretty high HP. They're sacred. Have a claw and a bite. Naturally 10 invulnerable. We get to the point to where we can put good buffs on these guys. Regeneration. Something like Army of Lead or something like that. Then I'm hopeful that these guys can be pretty fierce, right? Unfortunately, I just think the efficiency on them is just really, really bad. But we're continuing to do that. We have a Cloud Trippies just moving this hero around. We've summoned some bears over in Old Man. And then we have proclamations from Middle Atlantis, New Relay, and Juhera for profits. So, we have a Star Priest has got by some float cats, and I think this is just because... Oh no, this is because, and so we talked about this previously, right? How New Relay, I think it's New Relay's worldwide magic boosting is really good for us because we've had such a bad time with research because of our horrible magic scales, which I think is just was the wrong decision on Chaco, period. But that has benefited us greatly, excepting that it has also been horror marking a lot of our units. So we're going to start running into this type of stuff more and more frequently. Unfortunately, this is just a star priest, so it's not that big of a deal, but at the wrong time, it could be a very big deal. We have a number of attacks, and this is also... I'm recording this after I have started doing this pretty frequently in Tetragrammaton, and I think this is probably something that I'm going to do pretty much going forward when I record the Minions games. But I've started tallying up, you know, how many rituals am I doing? How many forging am I doing? What was my battle score, basically? So this turn I've kind of like gone through. So we'll go through all of our battles, and then I'll give you kind of like the scores of what we are doing. So we get attacked by 4A Phlegra in Old Man, and this is after we move all of the rest of our forces into Old Man. We don't really have much here patrolling, though. So we can see they immediately have winter storms up, which I don't really know what's going on here. This might be because of like murdering winter. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with what this is. There are some summer lions here. There's a whole bunch of flagrant pikemen. We've seen them in action before. The crossbow conscripts and the flagrant crossbow is pretty good. There's a whole bunch of the Magus assistants that are automatic communion slaves. There are a couple of magistrates, right? Which are probably going to be able to communion up. And then we have this guy, Missions, the Polmark Automata. Very cool unit. Very, very, very cool. Has a helm of acid breath that does an automatic acid spray. That is super neat. My goodness. Okay, anyways. So, we're just going to kind of watch what they do. The communion goes up. We got a couple of communion masters. This guy, I guess, is an auto communion master. So that's interesting. Body ethereal. Legions of Steel. Concentrated Malice. I do not know what that is. Divine Blessing comes out. Raise Dead comes out. There are no dead to be risen quite yet. Like that's probably about all we're going to be able to see. More Legions of Steel. Legions of Steel. These guys are pretty well protected, especially if they get hit with a Legions of Steel. But, okay, gotcha. Interesting little force attacks us here. We get to witness a battle in Nam between Lemuria and Phasia. It's just Lemuria running down Phasia's land. We attack in the Underdark. And we've got a bunch of raiders going around, so we'll see how this goes. We've got a little Monketsina up against a 1 PD, is what this is. So this should not be a competition. Although, I mean, this is a Jotunhearse. He's got a pretty powerful attack, but I don't think it's going to be enough to matter against something like a Monketsina. We attack into Green Coast. Raiding around here. So we've got a Wuya, and this is a, you know, decently little-sized Kingobian province, but there's, again, nothing scary here. So we go through our motions and hit that back line. Immediately kill the leader there, and now it's just Route City. Good shit. Really surprisingly low protection. I forget about that because we're using a copper plate instead of... Anyways, no big deal. We win in Green Coast. We attack into Moliton, trying to counter raid against Niflheim. Same type of scenario here. Should be no way that we lose this one. Oh, this isn't a flyer. Yeah, this is not a flyer. And this is an Axe of Hate. Gotcha. Bolt resist 15. Easy peasy. So we win in Moliton, and we attack into the Iron Caverns as well. And we don't find anything there. So, pretty simple on this one. We'll go ahead and close that out. Just raiding against nothing. So, pretty normal. Ooh, we get a attack Middle Atlantis against Middle Ermor. Watch this. This could be cool. Right. This is in Sitha at the station. So there's not much left from Ermor. There is an Eldragate. A couple of Triarii, Principes, Knights of the Unholy Sepulchre, and that's pretty much it. There's not really much to stand off against. in against Atlantis at this point. Acid Storm is something that is truly terrifying to deal with. Does not seem... I'm seeing very few ticks across his War Shamblers. So, lost 1 Mage of the Deep. Interesting. 7 War Shamblers. So, I wonder what actually happened to the Mage of the Deep. Okay, so there wasn't a random headshot or anything like that. Okay, so this one did get hit pretty hard. Right there. Just took 8. Ah, that one just got 12 damage. Was that off of the... That was off of Cleansing Water. Hit with a short bow for 8 damage. And then Cleansing Water did another 12 damage. So this guy? No. This guy. No. Huh. Someone hit him with something. Oh, did he get hit by his own thing? I don't know. Anyways, he died. So that's interesting. Cool. Alright, our ratio here. I've kind of broken this out into the various factions that we have fought this turn. So we had 1 battle against a horror that we lost. So we're 0-1 versus horrors this turn. We had 1 battle against 4A Phlegra that we won. So we're 1-0 against 4A Phlegra this turn. Or no, that we lost, so we're 0-1 against 4A Phlegra this turn. We had 3 battles against Niflheim that we won. So we're 3-0 against Niflheim this turn, and we had 1 battle against Kangobia that we won. So we're 1-0 against Kangobia this turn. And then we got to watch a couple other battles. We got some unexpected events. We lost some population in Grifa to blizzards and stuff like that. So I'm assuming... He saw us there and Wolven wintered. Annoying. We lose tax in Black Alps. We gain fire gems and astral pearls in Verdant Steppe. And one of our mages has befriended magic beings in the Iron Caverns. We've got some Lamias hanging out there. Worldwide event, an upcoming arena battle, and then worldwide event units have been healed. We've started to destroy the fort in Onremark down here. So we've got that going on. Green Coast is unharmed by this Wuyas. Can't do anything there. We're under siege in Old Man, but the enemy cannot harm our walls. The force that 4A sent against us is too small to win out against the force that's in the fortification. Blue Moss Forest is unharmed, and Aldenburg armed. Well, repairing the fort faster than we. So, what are we doing this turn? Mostly just kind of moving things around a bit. We are sending a Wuya up to Pastena. Another Wuya that is kitted out with winged shoes and a copper plate. This one with the intention of going northward into Kangobian territory or honestly into 4A Phlegran territory. Right? So we got that. We are moving Crystal Sorceresses into High Peaks and continuing to recruit Crystal Sorceresses. We are raiding into Niflheim territory. We're going to raid down into Titan's Breath Peaks and into Ubar. We've got 2 Wuyas kitted out with cold resistance, a little bit of cold resistance on each of them, that we can try to deal with any shenaniganry that Niflheim might throw against us. We've got Mong 14 over here that is just going to poke into the Silent Caverns. See how that goes against 4A Phlegra. We are besieged in Old Man. We are going to try to break that siege with Wuya 11. Just throw him out there. We've got the plate armor of Earth Power that we're testing out there, so that we can try to continue to have high protection, but good-ish reinvigoration, right? After we do something like Summon Earth Power, but still have wing shoes. So trying to have our cake and eat it too. We'll see how it goes. Don't know if it's gonna work. Raiding into Takoregus with Wuya 2. Down in Kangobian territory, we're moving Wuya 17 into Aman Forest. Again, just gonna poke around and do as much damage as we can. Kangobia seems to the sub in for Kangobia seems to have stopped participating as much. So really, I probably should not be worrying about Kangobia and be focusing more on Foray Flegra and Niflheim. But I'm still kind of in this concept of like, fuck it, right? Like, raid the shit out of that land. Might as well, right? I'm kind of feeling punitive at this point, so is what it is. We are doing, and then so that's all the movements. As far as like recruiting goes, we're kind of just doing our standard deal. Chaco and Stun Priest in most of our locations. We're trying to put together decent-sized forces of Chacoan armored warriors, especially on the peripheries of our empires, right? In Zaburia and Pack Woods, over in Vongar, up in Bergamum, etc., right? We are starting to recruit some Bao Banshees, so I'm not sure how the pronunciation there is. I know it's she. I just don't know. I think it's Bao Banshee, but I'm not sure. They're pretty good though because of the assassin trait and the fact that they are pretty stealthy and air mages, right? So you can have them assassinate with things like air elementals, acorn charms, bottles of living water, that type of stuff, and they're pretty good at that. So we're gonna grab a couple of them and see if we can't be nuisances. Maybe not so much to Niflheim. Actually, this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of hesitant against doing this. They're probably relatively good against someone like Kangobia, but against for a Flegra and Niflheim, it's a bit of a crapshoot, because if we get a giant, that giant, whether it's a Flegran giant or a Niflheim giant, Jotun, right? Like, that can fuck up a Bao Banshee. So I'm kind of hesitant on just jumping on that, but I do think they're going to be useful, especially for the ability to cloud trapeze around and potentially provide some support in that type of situation. But we'll see how it goes. Other than that, though, everything is relatively normal. More Wuyas, more Katsinas. We are doing a little bit of rituals, a few rituals and a little bit of forging this turn, but nothing major. So ritual-wise, we are kicking off our first vision quest. Is this our first vision quest? This can't be our first vision quest. Maybe this is our first vision quest. I don't know. Is the wrong thing. We're in alteration. So this is Vision Quest at Alt 3, and we have Vision Trance at Alt 6. So the intention here is to actually go through the whole process of going on a Vision Quest and then going on a Vision Trance and just playing around with that Bozmod2 and seeing, you know, hey, is this actually useful? Because I don't think it's going to be. I don't think I don't think what we get out of Vision Trance and Vision Quest is useful. I've talked about this at length previously, but I just don't think that this is a very useful situation. Yes, you do get Matchster Ritualists, so that's going to be somewhat useful in certain things. It's just, and yes, you can boost. It's just so, it's such a struggle to say that it's gonna be useful in my mind, but we'll see. We're kind of fiddle-faddling around. We're continuing to do Auspex with Ayayuta. We are continuing to do Ogre Dances in Chaco, and we are doing more Breath of the Desert from our god. in Old Man. I really should be focusing up on the concept of trying to utilize our god against something. Our god is very strong, and if I were to fluff the god properly, I think we could probably win out against anything. And I am intending on doing this, but I don't want to just throw our god out there and then have someone like teleport or cloud trapeze a bunch of stuff onto it or stuff like that. So I'm trying to look for an opportune moment to actually make use of our god. We'll see if we actually get one of those opportunities. So that's all we're doing ritual-wise. Forging-wise, we're doing a stone bird. And let me check. Yeah, so we're doing a stone bird, a firebrand, a dragon helmet, 2 more lightless lanterns, 2 more blue dragon scale mails, and a Scutado Volturnus. Just kind of trying to augment gear. What we have available for us for portioning out Wuya gear and stuff like that. But also the blue dragon scale mail. We're also doing 3 rings of frost. So the rings of frost, the blue dragon scale mail and the rings of frost are the intent there is to try to get to the point to where we have all of our important individuals geared out to be able to resist things like Murdering Winter, right? I don't know that's a feasible plan though, truth be told. But in theory, I want to be like in theory we could do it, but I've seen how that's worked in the past. Like I've tried to gear up entire provinces against things like Flames from the Sky or Murdering Winter. And it just ends up being a scenario where like Murdering Winter ends up hitting so hard and you'll get the occasional exploding dice that you're still going to lose people that you don't want to lose anyways. And you can gear out your commanders, but you can't gear out your units, right? Like I can't gear out these archers or you know, these Ketsina warriors or anything. So it's a bit of a crapshoot. And then something like Flames to the Sky we've seen in the past, right? It's that situation of you might not, again, exploding dice, depending on who gets hit. Even if you have fire resist gear, you might get tipped a little bit, right? Just get kind of chipped down, that type of scenario. But if someone casts 4 or 5 Flames from the Sky on you, that chipping down suddenly becomes a, oh shit, well. So I'm not sure that this is a sound investment, but honestly I'm not sure that anything that we're gonna do right now is gonna be a sound investment. Research wise, we have our goal, hitting Alt 9. We're getting pretty close. So I think if we can stabilize and get to the point where we have access to something like Army of Lead or Gold, I think we could probably, we got a very large force here, and some of it is pretty strong. Kind of messed up at this point because of all the Murdering Winter. But in theory, I think we could maybe do a good job up against a Flagrant force or a force from Niflheim or something like that. See how it goes. And that's pretty much it. Honestly. Not a whole lot doing on this turn, truth be told. Continuing to raid. Gonna try to knock Foray Flegger off. And Foray Flegger might reinforce this, but I kind of get the impression that after they have seen me move all of my forces into Old Man, I kind of think they're just going to pull back, right? Pull back, continue to poke and prod and raid here or there, but there's no real reason for them to just stay on Old Man at this point. So, but we'll see. Anyways, that's going to be it for the turn. Probably, I don't know if our plan, I know what happens in the future because I am in the future, but I don't know if our plan is, once we get Alteration 9, is to try to like go towards anything, right? we could, in theory, try to push into flagrant territory. But I think, honestly, right now, our best bet is to continue to raid with things like Wuyas and Monkatsinas. And for that, we probably need to escalate, maybe not escalate, but reconsider what our forging economy is and what our plans for that are. We're also sitting on a lot of gems here that we're not really making any use of. So as much as I complain about stuff like Ogre Dance, for example, not being super gem or Mage turn efficient, right? 5 gems for a single unit is pretty extreme, and 1 unit per turn is pretty abysmal, right? I could still be doing way more of it comparatively, so we'll see if that is something that I want to change in the near future or not. So, anyways, that's going to be it for the turn. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.